first and foremost, congratulations on this incredible movie. It really is one of the best pieces of art I've seen all year, and moved me in ways that I didn't think were possible within me. So,
Thank you. That's a huge
yeah.
compliment. Thank you.
So you've been touring this movie basically since its premiere at Cannes, and have been going to several film festivals around the world, and sharing it with audiences.
Yeah.
I assume it's a great feeling to see that this film has sort of resonated with people from all walks of life, and maybe hearing some of the stories from audience members that they saw maybe a part of themselves, their stories reflected on screen, or again made them aware of some emotions that they perhaps never knew existed in them.
No, thank you. I feel that exactly. I'm very grateful. I come from Norway, and even though I have my education from London and stuff, I come from a third generation kind of filmmaking family background. My grandfather was a filmmaker. My parents were doing different things with movies, and as I grew up, I loved movies, but there weren't so many films being made in Norway, and they certainly didn't travel much. So I always watched films from everywhere else. And I always believed that sort of culturally specific stuff really moved me, even if it was about a samurai in Japan, or it was a great John Woo movie with melancholic gangsters, or whether it was a wonderful film drama from the US, or like all kinds of movies. So for me to have this film travel and then to meet people and seeing that almost more than anything I've done, the conversations are very similar at different places in the world. Some films are made, it varies a bit culturally what people take away from it, but this one, everyone's talking about family relationships, what it's the language that we lack in terms of emotional communication and a lot of different stuff. So at the moment, I'm just kind of surprised and happy about it. Yeah.
When I was watching the movie, I felt most of the emotions through the subtle shifts in the actors' facial expressions, and how they sort of conveyed so much complexity in the characters they were playing. And the way the camera frames them throughout the movie kind of creates a very powerful emotional result when you watch it. And I'm wondering if the visual language of the movie was sort of, I guess, conceived to be able to represent these emotions and these shifts,
Yeah,
because
that's a
it's
great question.
yeah.
That's a great question because in a way, I'm a film buff and I love dynamics. I'm not a purist. I don't try to do one thing, one camera move, one. I really try to create quite an extreme dynamic between observational, bigger things, movements, spatial shots, and then bam, straight into real intimate stuff and really aggressively intimate. Like I really want to see great close-ups, and I always cast actors that dare be subtle and trust the camera to really see a face in a scope you cannot see in reality, which I find cinematic. You don't have the right to stare at someone that intimately in real life because you would be a psychopath. But in cinema, we're allowed to feel people in a very, very direct way. And that's kind of what I once in a while, occasionally in the film, I would really go into that intimate space. And I think the actors carry it very well. I'm super happy about it, what they've done actually. And it takes guts because they are going into quite complicated emotions to try to create a sense of life, and I admire that.
In terms of the house, it's basically a character in its own right. It has its own story, and it carries, I guess, the memories that the characters have as they're living in the house. I don't want to get too personal, but I recently lost a family member, and we had to clear their house. And the last time I went was actually last week, and it kind of felt very odd to see the house completely empty, because most of my memories when I was a kid was tied to that house. Was that something that you sort of reflected on when you were writing the screenplay, or I guess conceiving how you would visually also represent the house in the film?
Yeah, I thank you for sharing that. I'm very sorry for your loss, and we've all been through, and I have also been through that experience, and feel how suddenly objects take on a poetic dimension you could never imagine, or spaces, which are the arenas or the stagings of memories in ways that are so unexpected and that we discover, and they carry our history and even our sense of self. Because I think I thought a lot. There's a beautiful quote by what's her name, Joe Didion, the American novelist, writer, and she says, "We tell stories in order to survive," I think is the quote. And I think that humans are inherently narrative in our perception and understanding of ourselves and our surroundings. So that thing of that place that you talk about, that place of grief, but also the place of joyous memories, all comes into our understanding of that line of time that life is, you know. So I think cinema is an amazing art form to try to talk about exactly that, the nostalgia of representation and space.
It was really great talking today, Joachim, about your incredible movie. It really, I cried a lot when I watched it. It moved me, like I said, in ways that I didn't really know existed in me, and I really want to thank you personally for making this incredible film.
Oh, thank you. And thank you for staying so open and emotional in your approach to movies. It's easy to get cynical and judgmental about movies. And I think to have
Mhm.
that kind of response and reaction, you must be a very sensitive, cinematic, loving person. So thank you for opening up to our film. I really appreciate talking to you, man. Thank you.